Thank you very much, Jerry, for the honor for choosing me as the guest note speaker. It really is an honor to be here. Thank you for all veterans for your attendance, for your service. I am feeling very thankful today. Maybe it's because Thanksgiving is coming. I don't know. But when you've been deployed overseas a couple of times in the 120-degree heat of the deserts of Iraq and Kuwait, this is what you miss right here. You miss Westport. I always miss Westport when I'm away. Whether it was on active duty, in the Navy, in California, or whether it was actually deployed to a war zone. This town is unique. This town is special. This is the town that you miss when you are far away from home. I'm feeling thankful for the warm weather. If this is global warming, I'll take it. Because if it wasn't for this warm weather today, my children would not be able to be here. My son turned 1 when I was in Iraq, and it was a very difficult day for me. I wanted to be here with them. I'm thankful to feel appreciated by the public, and that we do not live in the days of post-Vietnam. And I feel for my Vietnam veteran brothers, because those were some rough times after serving in Vietnam. I feel more comfortable like this. I am thankful for the loving and supporting family that I have. To my beautiful wife, Natalie, who's here. She's always supported me throughout deployments, before and after. And to be honest with you, I think serving at home with 2 toddlers is actually tougher than serving in the desert overseas. So thank you, Natalie, for your great support throughout the years. And my sister Tracy is also here, Tracy Branco. Also a graduate of Westport High School. But the 2 people I really would like to thank the most are soaking up the sun in Florida. They call them snowbirds, I believe it is. My parents, both Connie and Tony Branco, who, if it wasn't for them raising us the proper way, being responsible children growing up, and a good work ethic, I don't think I would have made it this far. The deployments are a real stress for family. We're separated by thousands of miles, but it really is taxing on our families when one of us goes away. So, again, thank you for being so supportable. I'm also thankful to be able to have both services. Not only do I serve our country commendably, but I feel like I serve the children in Somerset as a teacher. I've been teaching now for 12 years, and I always take the time to make Veterans Day a teachable moment for our students. I believe it's very important for them to realize, first of all, that there are wars going on the other side of the world. It's not common for middle school students to pay attention to the news, and these days the wars are only getting a 30-second clip. And that's not fair. And so many middle school students, the age of 12, 13, and 14, really don't understand what it means to be a veteran. They really don't understand what it means to be serving during time of war. And I make it a point to make sure that we use that as a teachable moment, which is why, if you saw the front page of the Herald News on Friday, it was my honor to coordinate and organize a guest speaker for our school. Over at Somerset Middle School, we had Major Ahasi, who is the Major of Air National Guard, who has been deployed many times. She's a public affairs officer, and she gave a great speech, and we used that as a teachable moment for the children of our community. So this all began 25 years ago, and it really began with the Boy Scouts. I was in the Boy Scouts, Troop 100, right? Yes. Yes, thank you for being here. I was part of Troop 100 back in the 70s, and the feeling that you get, feeling of achievement through hard work, is what the Boy Scouts are all about. They're very important. That is where a military career starts often for people like me. So thank you for coming. So 25 years ago, I was 18, I graduated from Westport High School. We just had our 25th reunion. And after high school, I had a little bit experience working in the sweatshops of Fall River, and that was enough for me to say, I got to get the heck out of here. I need something more. I want to travel the world, and I want to serve something bigger than myself, and that is why I enlisted in the military, enlisted in the Navy. And people to this day often ask why or when I'll be getting out, and I can't answer them, because I really take pride in serving something more than ourselves, something bigger than ourselves, and that is why I remain staying in for my children, for our children, for our country. The USS Kansas City was a working ship. They told me I was going to be sent to a working ship after boot camp. I didn't really know what they meant, but boy did I learn what they meant fast after I was there for a couple of weeks. And I spent 9 months in the hole. Any of our Navy veterans know what I'm talking about when I say in the hole. Down in the engine room, those old steam engines where it's 120 degrees every day, and I was only an E2. Well, of course, I had the toughest job on board ship because I was the newest member on board ship. So I was wiping up the lube oil, taking out the trash, swabbing the decks. That'll make you that'll get you motivated to work your way out of the hole as quickly as possible, and that's exactly what I did. It motivated me to get out of the hole, to stop swabbing the deck, stop taking out the trash, and to work myself, put in some good hard work in order to get promoted. Again, the good work ethic that my parents of Portuguese descent taught me. I'm very proud of that to this day. So I finally, after 9 months of working in the hole, worked my way out of the hole to what they call the IC shop, which was air conditioned, where we were actually treated like professionals, and I became promoted to third-class petty officer. But that right there instilled a sense of pride and accomplishment for me. And that is the sense of pride and accomplishment through hard work that I try to pass on to my young airmen today out at Westover Air Reserve Base in Chicopee, Massachusetts. That is now my part-time job, 1 week in a month, sometimes 2 weeks a month, and we train every day to deploy to the war zone. But I try to instill that hard work ethic in my young airmen to this day. Some of the highlights of my active duty career when I was in the Navy was actually being in Panama during the Noriega invasion. If you remember, the Marines were taken hostage at a hotel in Panama City. I had just been there a couple days earlier, so that was pretty close call. And we were supporting the battle group out in the Pacific at the time. Also, crossing the equator, becoming a shellback. Visiting Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, was a very touching moment. And coming back from a deployment out in the Pacific from Canada, only to return to the San Francisco Bay Area in complete darkness after the 1989 San Francisco-Oakland earthquake. Those were some of the highlights of my active duty career. Again, after active duty, I came back to Westport. I missed it. And I decided to stay in the military and stay in the Navy Reserve. So I started my commute to Newport as a reservist, 10 total years in the Navy before I switched to the Air Force. After enrolling in the Air Force, it wasn't long before I was deployed to Kuwait. Like I said, 120 degrees every day, working at the Air Terminal Operations Center, where we basically load the C-5, C-17s, and C-130s with hazardous materials, weapons, ammunition. Everything that the troops need on the front line comes through us. It's basically the hub of the war zone. I saw a lot out there, and we were always supporting the troops on the front line, and of course, being at the front and center of the war zone, I also saw a lot of our fallen soldiers and witnessed the transfer of human remains. And my deepest condolences to the family here also for your loss. 2010 to Iraq, Balad Air Base, same thing, working at the air base. And all of this really instills thankfulness, especially around this time when Thanksgiving is coming up. So for one final thought, I'd just like to say that the work ethic is what made this possible and got me this far. Please instill the work ethic in your children. I believe parents are the most important part of a children's future. So thank you. I thank all of you for being here. I thank all of you for continuing your support of veterans these days. And it really means a lot to feel appreciated after serving in wars and being around the world. Thank you all in so many ways. I just can't say it enough. Thank you all for being here. And once again, it is an honor to be your guest speaker.